to host a snap conversation on this issue is our contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko. Vuyo?
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, joining me indeed here in the studio is the EFF's Andile Mngxitama, and from our parliamentary studios we're joined by the Freedom Front Plus's parliamentary leader, Mr. Pieter. Mr. Groenewald, let me start with you. You're asking the IEC to use Section 16 of the Electoral Act, basically not to register the economic freedom fighters as a party to contest next year's election. You are saying that the utterances and policies they are amount to propagation or incitement of violence or hatred. How so?
Well, if you look at Section 16 of the Electoral Commission Act, then it says quite clearly that any political party whose name or the abbreviation of that name or the founding principles or manifesto that portrays the incitement or the propagation of violence or racism, such a political party are prohibited from registering to be a political party and to participate in any election. So that is what the Act says. And if we look at the name of the EFF, the word fighters, as far as the Freedom Front Plus is concerned, surely portrays the incitement or the propagation of violence. There can be, from our view, be no doubt about that.
Well, let's hear if Mr. Mngxitama agrees with you that that is an accurate, perhaps, representation of your policies and what you stand for.
No, the economic freedom fighters actually about addressing the economic injustices of white supremacy since 1652, land theft, and the kind of white supremacist arrogance we hear from these organizations. There's nothing unconstitutional about returning land to the black majority. 20 years of democracy, we have not resolved this. South Africa, black people in this country, throughout, up to even in the boardrooms, experience white racism because the economic imbalances that are, if you like, based on the land inequalities, which have not been addressed. It's a shame that 20 years later, only 8% of the land has been returned to black people, and black people are slaves on farms owned by these people. This is arrogance to tell black people how we should fight and get back that which belonged to us when people hold stolen property. That is what is illegal. That is what is unconstitutional, and that is what we want to correct.
Mr. Groenewald, there is racism in the country still. There is still land deprivation, and that's what the EFF says it is trying to undo.
Well, viewer, I've just listened to what Andile has said, and I can almost say I rest my case, because you see, the whole objection is about white supremacy, about whites that's still holding land, allegations that white has stolen the land and all that sort of. He just said that. So I said I want to rest my case. That is exactly what Section 16 of the Electoral Commission Act said must be prohibited. In other words, we have just had the demonstration from the EFF that actually says that they are based on racism, and they want to instigate violence, and they said they will take it by force.
But Mr. Groenewald,
exactly our problem.
But then the same section of the Electoral Act that you are using to actually say the EFF must not be registered also talks about the issues of race, ethnic origin, religion, culture, and language. And I'm raising this because the FFplus is a de facto white party.
Well, you say so, but if you look at the Constitution and the founding principles of the Freedom Front Plus, it is quite clear that we say any South African with a citizen and who are 16 years or older can become a member of the Freedom Front Plus, as long as they comply to the mission and the vision of the Freedom Front Plus. And I can assure you that if the Freedom Front Plus Constitution and founding principles were unconstitutional as far as the country's constitution is concerned, it would have never been accepted and never been registered. Okay. So that is a view which is wrong. The matter is that the decision has to be taken by the Electoral Commission, and we will have to wait to see what their decision is going to be. But
Okay.
Section 16 is quite clear.
Okay, Mr. Kwan, let's hear if Mr. Mngxitama agrees with you.
I don't think that it makes sense for us to listen to the logic of land thieves, because these men represent those who took our land and refused to give our land. The economic freedom fighters, by the way, it says there's enough land in this country for all of us. White people, those who want to share, will share with us. But those like this man who are not willing to address the bitter, brutal history of land disposition of black people, who don't want to transform the society so that you can be one in one country with equal distribution of resources, not just the land, by the way, also the economy. People like this are irrelevant, in our view, represent views of the past which are going only to harm our countries to move forward. As a party, as a movement, we are going to listen to the Electoral Commission, and we believe that there's nothing untoward in registering a party that says 20 years of the majority of black people being excluded from their own country is unsustainable. We are going to correct that.
Mr. Mngxitama, Mr. Groenewald, unfortunately we've run out of time. Thanks very much to both of you for agreeing to talk to us this evening. Well, I'm afraid, guys, this debate is definitely going to continue beyond even that IEC decision.
Vuyo, thank you very much indeed, contributing